Hi, my name is Sarcev, and I'm here in the Fit Show studio to do my segment on the nutritional part of Secrets of the Pros. Nutrition is the most important part in bodybuilding, I would say. Even so that it's more important than training alone. But besides the bodybuilding, I do want to say that right nutrition is what is important for every human being. And many times bodybuilders don't get the credit when the credit is due. I would claim this, that it's 100% certain in my mind, bodybuilders do have the healthiest diet. Why? We do pay close attention to all the macronutrients, how much protein, carbohydrates, fat, calories we take throughout the day. And if you really think about it, combining all these nutrients in a small frequent meals throughout the day, bodybuilders do have what I would call ideal, optimal diet for human race. So I'm going to start with the basics, just to introduce basic nutritional points to all of you, with the intention to, at the end, make precise nutritional diet plan for each and every of you guys. I understand we're all different individuals with different needs, but everything boils down to pretty much the same. We have a goal. We're going to prescribe something that is going to basically get you to your goal. So let's start with the basic. Macronutrients that we have are three basic macronutrients: protein, carbohydrates, and fat. Carbohydrates and fat are energy-delivering nutrients, and only protein is a building nutrient, building material. So I'm going to just make little remarks here. This would be protein, and carbohydrates and fat on the other side. This is energy. And only protein is to build. Now when I talk about building and protein, a lot of you would think right away, oh, building muscle. That's not so. Protein is essential for the whole body. Everything we have, skin, hair, muscles, bones, organs, everything, enzymes, hormones, everything is made out of protein. So it's so essential that I would say it's absolutely most important. And really, protein, in essence, the word means most important. Carbohydrates and fat, as I said, is only energy. You cannot absolutely build ounce of muscle from carbohydrates or fat. This is just energy nutrients. So take it as energy demand requires. We take these two depending on demand. If we spend a lot of calories, we need a lot of energy, that's when we have high energy. But protein is most important, and I would say there is a big misconception as everybody reads this FDA recommendation. So RDA, recommended daily allowance for protein, is so minimum that I would say it's not even enough for mice, not a human being. And when experts, nutrition experts, confronted with this, they would basically say, hey, we are only saying that's minimal requirement for survival, so not optimal. Many clients that come to me and ask me for what I think of RDA for protein and say, why is like this? I would always emphasize this is minimal for survival. That's very important to remember. Optimal intake is something completely different. So what would I say is optimal? For everybody, right off the bat, not even bodybuilders or athletes, just average person, I would say it's 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This is what I stand behind it 100%. 1 gram per pound minimum. For bodybuilders, I go as far as even 2 grams per pound. Now, I have to explain here what's the reason for that. If you take a 200-pound person, and you would take, let's say, some bodybuilder, 200 pounds, muscular, very active, with a goal to build as much muscle mass as possible, or 200-pound average person that really doesn't have that kind of goals in mind. And if you take the bodybuilder is training maybe twice a day very intensely, and the other person is sitting on a desk and do some computer work. If you listen to RDA, for what Food Drug Administration recommends to us, these two gentlemen should have a same intake of protein. Well, that's for me a big nonsense, because of course bodybuilder that needs to build muscle tissue, and this is the only building nutrient, obviously needs much more than person that doesn't have this as a goal. Another thing is, with intense training that bodybuilders do, we break down so much muscle tissue, lean tissue, that basically is nothing but a protein, amino acids. So as bodybuilders in intense training are breaking down muscle tissue and losing amino acids, they obviously require much more than average person, as I mentioned, 200-pound guy that really doesn't have that goal in mind. So 1 gram per pound of body weight, I would say, is for everyone. Each and every one of you that is watching this DVD is thinking about what is most appropriate amount. Take it from me, 1 gram, regardless if you're a guy that wants to build muscle, lose weight, maintain what you want. Healthy intake of protein is 1 gram per pound, period. I'm going to use a 200-pound as a reference, as it's easy to calculate. 200 grams of protein for each person would be only 800 calories from a protein sources. 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. So if you take that 200-pound guy would need to take 200 grams of protein, that would be 800 calories coming from protein daily. As you see, that's very low caloric intake. Ideally, I would say that this 200 grams of protein should be divided is as many small frequent intakes, small frequent meals. If you have a 200 grams of protein in one sitting, that's abundance of too much at once, and yeah, there will be a lot of trouble trying to absorb, digest, assimilate, process, eliminate, and so on. 200 grams, yes, is too much in one sitting. What are we getting by small frequent intakes? Let's say minimum 5 a day. If you're taking a 200 grams of protein in 5 small meals, that will be 40 grams of protein at the time. 40 grams for breakfast, snack, lunch, another snack, and dinner. That would ensure several things. First, that we have a small, frequent feeding that would give us certain kind of amino acids from various proteins that we're taking. They would ensure constant flow of amino acids into the bloodstream. So whenever our body needs protein for, let's say, muscle, it would have available. For some other physiological or metabolic needs, it would take for, let's say, some organ, for hair, for red blood cells, for whatever. Whatever is physiological or metabolic need of the body, if it's looking for protein, we must have it available. If you don't have it available, what happens is body have to take it from within. So it has to break down some tissue to get those amino acids needed. That's, in my opinion, and I hope you would agree, nonsense. If we can have amino acids available, why not? Well, we would ensure that at all times you would have a sufficient amount of amino acids. If you take 1 gram of protein per pound, 200-pound guy would take 200 grams of protein daily. 5 meals, 40 grams at a time. Let's say egg whites in the first meal, chicken in the second meal, steak, fish, or whatever source throughout the day that person would have, would give us amino acids from all those protein sources, and then we're going to have available in the bloodstream, so whenever it's needed, it's going to be there. Very important thing, because if some bodybuilder wants to build a lean tissue and have a tremendous workout, phenomenal workout, he gave that stimulation that is needed, for muscle to grow, but we don't have a building material, enough protein, muscle is not going to get bigger, as simple as that. I always like to give that one example is if you have 100 guys that would like to build a house, and they come with the most advanced technology to construction, for construction to build a house, and they do not have enough building material, bricks or wood, 100 guys are going to look at each other and do nothing. They can't even build a house for mice. On another term, if there is 2 guys that have a willpower and They want to build a house, and they have all the material needed. Eventually, they're going to slowly build not just a house, but even the biggest mansion. So what I'm trying to say here, if we have enough protein, our body can, absolutely can, build anything we think about. For a bodybuilder, that would be a lot of muscle tissue. If we don't have enough, that will not happen. So all that hard work that we did during a training on DVD, Secrets of the Pros, on a fit show that you could see, every workout that I presented to you, not just that it's going to be ineffective, it's going to be even worse. If you train like this, you're going to absolutely break down the muscle tissue. You're going to lose all those amino acids. If you don't replenish it, you're going to get smaller than previously. So with my training program that I designed for you, without proper nutrition, I'm doing very bad favor for all of you guys. You're going to lose muscle size. And that's what happened to me in the beginning of my career as I trained with a huge intensity, with enthusiasm, believing that just training is important. I don't care about nutrition. We just eat whatever is served. I got smaller. After 3 months of training, about 3 hours a day, I actually got smaller. So make sure that 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is your absolute minimum. 200-pound guy would have a 200 grams of protein. Why small frequent meals? As I said, first, that would ensure constant flow of amino acids. Secondly, a lot of protein needs different time to be processed and digest. For red meat, some kind of beef, it takes 24 hours for our body to break down the protein from beef. 24 hours. For some chicken, for example, that has a protein within a chicken, would take about 6 to 7 hours to be broken down, and we would have amino acids available. A fish is about 5 hours. Milk products, dairy between 1.5 hours, 2.5 hours. Coming down to, let's say, whey protein, there's a lot of supplemental whey protein powders, whey concentrate, isolate, hydrolysate, different kinds. It takes about 20 minutes to get amino acids from that source of protein. But the bottom line is, anything that we have, any kind of protein, eventually our body is going to break down to the amino acids, either free-form individual amino acids or peptides, bonded amino acids. When we have this, that's when our body can process and build various tissues and the muscle that we're looking for. So amino acids are building blocks that we need to build muscle. We must have it available, and the best way to ensure that we have is small, frequent meal throughout the day with at least 1 gram of protein per pound. That's for protein for now. On the other hand, carbohydrates and fat gives us energy. 1 gram of carbohydrate would give us 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat would be 9 calories. Many times dietitians and actually people that keeping the diet mostly talk about caloric intake. I take 2,000 calories, 5,000 calories, or whatever. And when I tell them, okay, how much of that is protein, carbs? Oh, I don't know, but I take 2,000 calories. 2,000 calories of right nutrients could be the best possible diet. 2,000 calories of whatever is not as efficient. It could be worst possible diet. So calories really don't mean much to me. It's just number at the end of the day when you actually calculate what you're taking. But for example, 1 gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories. And if you take, let's say, starchy complex carbohydrate source of, let's say, potato, and we would have 4 ounces about, and it's equal to about 18 grams to 20 grams of carbohydrates. That's 80 calories worth of carbohydrates. This is now energy that body can use. And if it's a need for that energy, body can use it very efficiently. And if there is no need for it, your body can convert it and store it. And that's what usually happens with the people that don't pay attention to what nutrients at what times they're taking. If they take too much carbohydrates at a time when they don't need, this carbohydrate will be stored as a fat. I had many clients before that would virtually have almost no fat at all, with the logic that if I don't eat fat, I cannot get fat. And then they realized that, quite contrary, they gain a lot of fat. Why? Because they were eating way too much carbohydrates. They had way too much energy. So, as I said, protein is taken in a 1 gram per pound formula. Carbohydrates and fat individually, it's different among all of us. And if somebody has a tremendous energy output, energy expenditure, of course they need to have a appropriate intake. What do I do with carbohydrate intake? I watch somebody's 24-hour activity, and I give my recommendation for amount of carbs according to what that person is going to do throughout the day. So if they're going to wake up at a certain time in the morning, let's say 8, and they're going to be active in the next few hours, then they're going to have a little bit period of inactivity, then they're going to have a serious workout, and they're going to be up quite late at night, for example, and not very active, maybe going to bed at midnight. I would take this period of time and structure carbohydrate and fat intake accordingly. Some starchy complex carbohydrate in the morning would give us sustained, prolonged energy that the body can use in the next several hours. So I would certainly have some carbohydrate meal in the first meal. Then, as we said here, we are not very active. So here we had either a less demand, so we can have a less carbohydrates than here, or no carbohydrates at all, or type of carbohydrate that would give us a different kind of energy. It's, I would say, fibrous complex carbohydrates, let's say some kind of vegetable, that would give us, calories per se, because it is caloric value in every vegetable, but there is not very many usable calories that the body is going to use. So immediately before inactive period of time, we can have less energy, or let's say fibrous carbohydrates that can take us through next couple of hours without us feeling that we are dragging, have no energy. But this way we ensure that none of this carbohydrate can be converted into the fat. So that would be what I would suggest, some fibrous complex carbohydrate source or no carbs at all. Then we have a serious workout that for that workout we need some tremendous energy. So maybe 45 minutes before that we can have some quick source, not necessarily simple carbohydrates, but easily digestible starchy complex carb that would give us that energy for a serious workout.